rest for your lower back. So we're getting ready to start. If you've just joined, welcome Vodafone. Welcome to day 3 of our lunchtime yoga sessions for Mental Health Awareness Week. We're going to begin our session on our backs. So stretch yourself out on your mat or on the carpet, on the floor, wherever you are. Have your feet flat to the floor, your knees facing the ceiling. Have your ankles, knees, and hips in a parallel line, all about hip distance apart. Bring your back down to the floor. You can ease yourself gently using your arms as we're just at the beginning of class. Find your position. Adjust hair, clothing, whatever you need to do. Adjust your feet as you may need to. Bring your hands to the floor, palms face the ceiling. Shoulders nice and relaxed on the mat, chest nice and open, belly nice and soft. And now start to bring your attention to your breathing and close your eyes. So we're beginning in semi-supine. Welcome if you've just joined us. Start to bring your attention to your breath. Close your eyes. As you exhale, allow the vertebrae to sink into the floor. We're not pressing them into the floor, but we're trying to soften the muscles, particularly any muscles around the lower back that may be tight. Softening into the hip girdle. If this is too strong on your hips, if you find that your knees want to flop out and it's an effort to hold your knees up, then tilt your knees very slightly towards each other just to give you some support for the legs. Otherwise, try and have the knees, hips, and feet parallel. So bring the attention to the breath, watch the breath, see what's happening there. Excuse me. As you inhale, watch the belly rise, and the lower ribs rise, and the upper chest rise. And then as you exhale, the belly releases, the lower ribs come back in, the upper chest comes back down again. Keep going with that movement, watching the rise and fall of your belly and your chest as you bring your mind to your breathing. Really bring your mind in now. Rein it in from wherever it is. Attach it to your breath. The deeper and the longer your exhalation, the more messages your brain gets that everything is okay, that you don't have to be panicking, you don't have to be in your stress response. So if you're feeling tense, if you're feeling wound up, really focus on a long, deep exhalation. The inhalation will happen by itself. What's important to do when you feel stressed is to breathe out. Next time you breathe in, bring your hands in towards your side, place the palms down to the mat, and then float the hands up so they come above your shoulders. Exhale as you float them back down again. Keep going with this movement. When you inhale, take the arms up so the hands are above the shoulders. And as you exhale, bring them back down again. So your aim here is to coordinate the movement with your breath. Make your movement as slow as your breathing will allow. So we're challenging ourselves to breathe slowly, and we're moving the arms to match that movement. Inhaling as we rise up and exhaling as we lower them down. Begin to increase that movement if you can. If your shoulders are okay and it doesn't cause you any trouble, take the arms overhead. Keeping that movement as slow as you possibly can, exhaling to bring the hands back down again. Some of you, if you're very flexible in the shoulder girdle, may be able to take the hands overhead so the backs of the hands come towards the floor, but don't strain, we're still warming up. And if the chest starts to rise here, if you feel your chest rising, if you feel your back lifting off the mat, lower ribs flaring out, then try and draw your back down to the mat. Tuck your front ribs down towards your hips, drawing the belly in ever so slightly as you exhale. Really attaching your mind to your breath here. Next time you exhale, leave the hands down on the mat by your hips and breathe normally. Now inhale and draw your left knee up towards your chest. So your thigh comes towards your chest and your right foot stretches away across the floor. Gently draw your hands to your shin so that you increase that stretch. You might feel it in your right hip flexor. You might feel it in the left hip crease and the left buttock. Keep drawing that thigh in towards your chest and breathing deeply. Now take your right hand across to the outside of your left shin. Take your left hand out to the side and gently start to draw that right knee across the body. So we're coming into a supine twist. Do what feels right for you. Try and keep your right hip firmly anchored into the mat as you draw your left knee across. You might want to take your eye gaze to your left hand. If your neck doesn't feel comfortable, continue to look at the ceiling or keep your eyes closed. Gentle supine twist. Make sure you're still breathing deeply in your abdominal region, even though your abdomen is powerfully twisted. On an inhalation, gently unravel. Bring the knee back to the chest. Hug it in. Maybe you can start to lift your head, keeping your shoulders relaxed, and draw your forehead towards that knee. And then draw your head back down again. So now we're going to bend the right leg, press the right foot into the floor, and take the left leg across so that the outside of your left foot comes to the top of your right thigh. Suturandasana, thread the needle pose. So from here, if you can, take your left hand through the gap and your right hand around the outside of your right thigh. So your right thigh is coming in towards you and your left foot is across your right thigh. Have a look at me if you need to. Drawing that thigh in towards your chest, flexing your left foot actively to protect your knee. This is important. Drawing the toes back towards the knee, especially drawing your little toe towards your knee. Feel that stretch. One more breath here. And then draw the right leg back towards the floor and release the left leg down as well. Hug your right knee into your chest now and stretch your left leg away. We're coming into that supine twist. Draw the knee in towards the chest, give it a hug. Stretch your right hand out to the side. Take your left hand across to the outer right shin and start to draw that knee across the body. Watch that you're not rolling up off your left buttock. Try and keep that firmly anchored down if you can. You can take your eye gaze to your right hand. I'm not going to because it's going to compromise my earphone. But if you can stretch out. Breathing deeply into that twist. One more breath here. On an inhalation, draw that right knee back up to center. Slowly does it. And if your head and shoulders feel okay and you want to gently lift your neck without strain so that you bring your brow in towards your knee, then do so. If that feels too much, if you feel any strain at all in the neck or shoulders, then don't come so high or don't raise up at all. Drawing the head back to the mat now. Bend your left knee. We're going to do Sucharindasana on the other side. Right leg comes across, outside of the right foot comes to the left thigh. Thread the right hand through the gap made by your right leg, and then draw your left thigh in towards you, raising the left foot off the floor if you can, and gently start to ease that left thigh in. Flex your right foot. Draw your little toe around towards your knee. Flexing the foot protects the knee. You should feel a nice stretch here in the outer right buttock. If you're not feeling anything, then gently press that knee out, press the thigh out, don't press on the knee. And maybe you can draw the hands to the shin instead of the thigh. That's going to deepen that stretch. Make sure you're still breathing deeply. One more breath here. Float the left foot to the floor, draw the right knee in, send both feet to the floor now. Take a couple of breaths here in your semi-supine position. Allow the hips to adjust so they're level again. And now draw one knee and then the other into the chest. Give them a hug, maybe rock from side to side if that feels good. Change your grip so they're holding onto the back of your thighs and start to rock up and down in the body. So you're rocking up. Maybe you can come all the way up to a seated position. If that's not available to you, then just come up to seated anywhere you can. And when you get there, swing your legs out round to the side and come onto all fours. So we did this yesterday, those of you who were here. Cat-cow curls, but we're going to start here from slightly further back on our mat so we've got some space in front. So have your hands about halfway down your mat if you can. Round the spine like an angry cat, dropping your eye gaze so that you look towards your thighs, and then inhale, wrapping the shoulders back and down as you lift your chin and chest forward. I don't know what that noise is. I think it's my phone buzzing. Apologize. Exhale, round the spine. And then inhale as you come forward. Wrap your shoulders back and down. Lift your chin and chest. We'll do 2 more of those. Exhaling as you round. Inhaling as you extend. One more. Exhaling to round. And inhaling to come forward. Now we exhale, we sit back onto the heels, stretch the arms out in front. Balasana, the knees slightly wider, so you've got a bit more space to drop the belly down, then do that. When you're ready, inhale, come back onto all fours, and exhale in all fours. Again, make sure shoulders above wrists, knees under hips, a nice box position. From here, inhale again, float your right fingertips up towards the ceiling, opening your chest, maybe taking your eyes up to meet your fingertips. And as you exhale, you're going to thread the arm this time underneath your left armpit, maybe so the back of your hand comes to the floor. Maybe your shoulder can also come to the floor. Maybe your ear can come to the floor. Maybe the top of your head can come to the floor. Pause for Balasana. If you want to increase the stretch, you can take the left hand up to the ceiling, or you can stretch it forward to the front of your mat. If you're taking it to the ceiling and it's available to you, the hand may come to the inner thigh. That's quite strong. If that's too strong for you, then leave the hand up or stretched out in front. Breathe deeply here. Feel that lovely stretch, that lovely twist. On an inhalation, release the bind if you're there. Exhale, press your left hand into the mat. Release your right shoulder, release your right hand, and sit back in child's pose for 1 breath, or stay here for longer if you'd like to. When you're ready to proceed, inhale, come forward. We're going on the other side. Left fingertips float up to the ceiling, chest opens. And as you exhale, left hand comes under the right armpit, back of the hand towards the mat, maybe the shoulder, maybe the ear also. Your option, stretch your right hand away, stretch it up, take it behind. Your choice. breathing deeply into the twist. To come out of it, on an inhalation, you release that right hand from wherever it is. You exhale to press it into the mat. You draw the left shoulder out from underneath your right, press the hand into the mat, and sit back into child's pose. Inhale, come forward onto all fours. Keep your hips where they are, over your knees, and start to walk your hands forward if you can. This is quite a strong move, so if it's too much, bend the elbows and come to here. Otherwise, you're going to stretch your arms forward and see if, without drawing your hips forward, you can keep pushing your hips back and bring your chest and your chin down to the mat. It's quite a strong move. It's called Anahartasana. It opens the Anahata chakra, your heart chakra. So you're opening your heart onto the floor. You're also getting a really good stretch for the back of the shoulders. Helps prevent kyphotic curvature of the spine or excessive kyphotic curvature of the spine, which we used to call widow's hump, but now has been renamed tech neck in honor of you guys. So try and avoid tech neck in honor of you guys. So try and avoid tech neck by stretching out in Anahartasana. Melting heart pose, sometimes known as poppy pose. You've had enough of that. Come back out of it any way you can, and we're coming into child's pose. This time we're going to take the hands right the way around to the where you can, and we're coming into child's pose. This time we're going to take the hands right the way around to the heels and bring the crown to the floor so you get a nice curve in the back, going the other way to release off that stretch. Quite a powerful stretch, so release it off gently. Inhaling, exhaling deeply. Come back into all fours when you're ready. We're coming up into down face dog. If you know where you're going, then just go straight ahead. Otherwise, from all fours position, we tuck the toes under, press into the outer hands, lift the knees, and then try and send your hips high to the ceiling, your heels low to the mat, and your chest towards your thighs, stretching out like a dog having a stretch in the morning. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So here, we're going to alternate bringing the heels to the floor to increase the stretch so that one thigh comes towards the rib cage while the other heel goes down towards the floor. Do that a couple of times, and then we'll try doing both. So chest comes to thighs, heels come to the floor, or they might come nowhere near the floor. Just do what you can. From here, inhale, float your left heel up to the ceiling. You're still trying to work your right heel down to the floor. And then exhale, bend the knee, soften the right knee also, and draw that knee forward towards your chest and then down towards your left thumb. Turn your left foot out so it comes in towards your right hip. We're in pigeon pose. We did this on Monday. Lift your chest, wrap your shoulders back and down. So we're still opening the heart like we did in Anahartasana. Wrap your shoulders and lift here. So what will happen here is you might rock over towards your left hip, take a block or a cushion or a pillow and put it under that hip to give you some support here. Stretch your right toes away. Try and lift. And if you want to, you can come down onto your forearms or stretch out across your mat. Do what's comfortable for you. You might also want to try bringing your hands into prayer. That's a little bit tricky. You can give it a go if you want to. 2 more deep breaths here. If you're on your forearms or facing down, come back up to upright pigeon here. Reach around with your right hand for your right leg and draw it round all the way around 3/4 of a circle, 270 degrees, and press that right foot down into the mat without lifting up your right buttock, if at all possible. Lengthen your spine here, and we're going to twist to the right. So you take your right hand behind and take your left hand across the body, either hugging the thigh into the chest or maybe palm faces away. If this is too much for your left knee, then you can straighten your left leg out and come to a modification here. Only twist as far as you're comfortable, looking over your right shoulder if that's to you. And then from here, you're going to come into a cross-legged position with your right leg on top. So if you're in the full Ardha Matsyendrasana, you just lift your right foot and bring it across here. So your right foot's on top, cross-legged. If that's not possible for you, then keep the left leg extended. Open the right hip and take hold of your right shin and just work on opening your hip here. This is called rocking the baby. We're just moving into opening the hip. Advanced move, you can take the foot and cradle it in, wrap your hand around the outside and lift your foot a bit higher. That's your option. Otherwise, you're able. And then we're going to stretch the leg out, swing the legs behind, and we're going to do all of that on the left. So come into your downward facing dog. Stretch your right heel up to the ceiling. Send your heel away, send your left heel down towards the floor, and then draw that knee forward so it comes inside your right thumb. Wrap your shoulders back and down, lift your chest, pigeon pose. So again, if you need a block under your right buttock or a cushion, then take that. If you prefer to come to your forearms or stretch your brow down to the mat or to the rug, then do so. Otherwise, open your chest as much as possible. Maybe float your hands to your heart center. The choice is yours. Ekapada Rajakapotasana, single-legged king pigeon pose. Really strong stretch for the hips. One more breath here. On an inhalation, take your left hand to your left leg, draw it all the way around till it comes to the outside of your right thigh. Press that foot into the floor if you can, but you're trying to keep your left buttock down as well, so it may not come to the floor. If it's too much on your knee, stretch the leg out in front. We're going to twist to the left. Again, you can hug your knee into your chest. You can take the elbow on top, press the palm away, leg extended or folded, looking over your left shoulder. So this is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, half order of the fishes. Take 2 more deep breaths in this posture. If your leg's extended, you can keep it extended. If it's folded, we're just going to release the twist and release the top leg, and we're going to do that cradling the baby move on the other side. So with or without an extended leg, take your hands underneath your shin bone and draw your shin up. Watch that you don't round here. Try and draw your chest up towards your shin, and then just move your hip as you're able. Again, I'll quickly show you the advanced move. Foot comes to crook, arm around the outside, foot comes up. Take the level that suits you. And that might vary from day to day. One day you may feel like doing advanced moves, another day you think, actually, do you know what my body's saying? How about a back to basics day? Release this leg when you're able to. Bring your feet to the floor and come up to standing. We're just going to do one balance move before we come back to the floor. So I'm stepping off my mat now because I'm on a very spongy mat and it wobbles quite a lot. So make sure you're on a nice firm surface. A thin mat's fine, but if you're happier on the floor, come to the floor. Move your weight into your left foot, standing tall. And here you've got several options. Tree pose with the foot on the floor if you've got balance issues. If you've got a chair nearby and you want calf or to your thigh, but do not take a more advanced move, then we're coming into upright pigeon. The foot comes across the thigh deeply, tuck the tailbone under and press your palms together. Now, the important thing in a balance pose is to find your ekagrata, your point of focus. So bring your mind into stillness. Find that point. Focus on it. And be still. One more breath here. And then we're going on the other side. Low option here, or take the foot higher, or come into your choice. Tuck the tailbone under, open the chest. Breathe. If you wobble, just forgive yourself, come back into it when you can. Inhale, straighten the leg if you're in standing pigeon. Release the other leg. And then come down to a seated position. So this position is called Sukhasana, easy pose. Yoga should be a mixture of sukha and sthira. That's what we're aiming for. Ease and effort. So you've just put some effort into that balancing pose. Now try and find the ease. So if Sukhasana, easy pose, isn't remotely easy for you, if you hate sitting cross-legged, then sit any way that is comfortable, or kneel. Have your feet outstretched. You can support your back against a wall. You can build up with some cushions. We're going to be here for a few minutes, so make sure that you're comfortable. If you feel that you'd like some energy, have your palms facing upwards. If you feel that you'd like some calm, place your palms downwards. Close your eyes and bring your attention back to your breath. Lengthen your crown away from your tailbone. Be aware of the gentle movement in your spine as you breathe. Be aware that as you inhale, as your chest cavity expands, there's a very, very slight extension of the spine. And as you exhale, the spine comes very slightly into flexion. These movements are happening all the time when we breathe deeply. The body is never still. Engage your mind with the movements of your body. Draw it into yourself. Be aware of the things that only you can know. How does your body feel? How does your body move? How does it serve you in thousands of little ways every day? without you even noticing. We tend only to notice our bodies when they complain, when they hurt, when they malfunction. Be aware of all the stuff that is working all the time. How your body is processing oxygen, toxins, food, microorganisms, all beavering away. Watch the breath. Watch the prana, life force, the upward spreading breath. The apana, the descending breath. Enjoy that ebb and flow. Like waves on a seashore. Drawing in, drawing out. Find that calm space. At the end of each deep exhalation, a moment before you inhale again. A moment of quiet. If you're able to stay here, then do so. Otherwise, lengthen your spine on an inhalation. Bring your palms together. And as you exhale, gently flutter your eyelids open. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. I hope the sessions are beneficial. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Namaste.